Hey everybody, Tim here with tonight's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 5, Episode 16, Ethics. Oh my god, what a good episode. Like, this episode is so well done. This is what brought me to Star Trek, is these types of episodes. These allegorical, metaphorical, social, ambiguous type of episodes that bring things that people don't want to talk about or don't like to talk about, boom, right up to the forefront. I think I've said it before, my favorite episode of Star Trek is Voyager. It's the Death Wish episode, the one where the Q entity wants to kill himself, and then the John Delancey Q that we know is like, you're not allowed to do that, because assisted suicide, euthanasia type topics are very taboo. Like, some people are very for them, some people are very against them, and it's a very important thing. I mean, fuck, even like Golden Girls had an episode about assisted suicide. I think it's a very interesting topic. And this is the first instance where we've had this. It's ritual suicide in this point. So the main plot of this episode is that Worf has been injured. His spinal cord has been injured, and he is now paralyzed. And so he wants to initiate a Klingon act that I'm not going to try to pronounce. And he wants Riker to help him basically kill himself. He wants assisted suicide because he can't move, and in doing so, he is now dishonored. Which, by the way, I got a little bit ahead of myself. I think it's interesting that Riker is kind of the main character, besides Worf, obviously, in this episode. And like I said, my favorite episode of Voyager is Death Wish, and that's the episode that Riker makes a cameo appearance in. So I think that's kind of cool that he's in both of these. Whatever. So Worf is injured, and he's asking Riker to help him kill himself. And like, this whole episode is just about the internal struggle where like Dr. Crusher flat out says, like, no, this is not happening in my sickbay. Picard is basically like, I don't think that this is right, but you have to do what you think is right. And there's so much going on. At one point, Worf says, like, or another doctor brings up that she was talking to Klingons, and other Klingons have said, like, oh, if this was on the Klingon homeworld, we would have let him die. Like, we wouldn't have tried to save him. Because Crusher, her point of view is that he still is alive and he can still be a benefit to society. Whereas Worf doesn't see that. So it's really interesting. And then it's all about respecting beliefs. So if you can, like Riker, for example, completely is against this, but does he respect Worf's beliefs? So it's almost, I don't know, there's so much to go into. I'm almost overwhelmed because I don't know where to go from here. If you see somebody and you disagree with that, but that's what they hold sacred, do you take a step back from your own and help them do what they believe in? Or do you say, no, I don't like that, and so I'm going to put you on hold? That's basically what the Prime Directive is not interfering with others' beliefs. So there's so much to go in here. And on top of all of this, you got to remember, Alexander is now a part of the series. So Troy spends a lot of time with Alexander, and at one point, Alexander, because Worf doesn't want Alexander to see him in this dishonorable position. And Alexander says, I don't care about being a Klingon, I just care about seeing my father. This episode is so good, like, I can't get over it. And then Riker, I mean, it's kind of a douche move, I'm not gonna lie, but he like spins the whole thing where he says, you know what, I hate this and I hate everything about this, but I'm willing to do it, except your Klingon rules say that Alexander has to do it. And he washes his hands of it and he takes a step back. I mean, it's an interesting development. Like, you can just keep going on this episode because so much happens. On top of this, we get a little bit of side trivia. For example, we see more parts of Worf's body, such as like his spine, and we see that they have ridges down their spines. We learn that Geordi this whole time has been able to see everybody's poker hand through his visor. According to him, he doesn't do it until the end of the hand, but whatever, we'll see. But overall, this episode as a whole, like I said, this is what brought me to Star Trek, is these allegorical episodes. For me, I would have assisted Worf. You guys can take that how you will. I'm just doing my review, but I think maybe if I was in the actual moment, it would be different. But as somebody who's just watching TV of a fictional television show, I think that I would have helped Worf in his beliefs, his culture, his heritage. I think I would have assisted him. I don't know. That could just be me watching it. If I was actually in the moment, maybe I would have panicked and been like, nope. But who knows? I would like to think that I would have helped him do what he felt the need to do. And it's interesting because Riker says no in this episode, but then when we get to Death Wish, John Delancey's Q does help him. So for The Next Generation and for Voyager, we see both sides. We see the main focus of the person survive. He gets denied and he survives. And then we see the main person get his wish and he does die. So this is Star Trek at its best, in my opinion. So for those who have seen this one, what do you guys think of these allegorical, metaphorical, social topic episodes? Thank you guys so much for the subscriptions, for the follows, for the messages. Thank you guys for everything. I will see you guys next time for an equally as important episode, Outcast.